usually the objective and method for different people are not aligned, right? For a person is not aligned. So unknowingly and knowingly, like how do you make any result happen, right? Your method has to be aligned with your objective, and that leads to an outcome. Unknowingly or knowingly, whenever somebody starts training, they assign an objective for themselves, right? With different varying levels of awareness, right? Somebody could be really, they could really pinpoint what it is that they want to do within 6 months, or they could have a very rough idea of what it is that they want to do within 6 months, right? I do not like what I'm looking like, and I want to change that. Very rough idea. Or somebody could go that this is where I am right now. This is, any amount of, like, any amount of data. They could have any amount of insight on their current situation. But whatever it is, they assign the objective for themselves, right? We know that to make progress, we got to align the objective with the method. People usually have their objective sorted, right? But what happens where things go wrong is that they never get to the part where they understand what the method has to be applied, what method has to be applied, right? Usually this method is based on hearsay. You will hear somebody say that you need to drink apple cider vinegar to lose weight, right? That's the method. They unknowingly they're giving you a method, right? Your objective was to lose weight. They gave you an abstract, non-contextual objective answer, lose based on hearsay, based on something that they have heard somewhere else, and you start eating apple cider vinegar, and that's the whole process, right? This process that we drew based on all of these different insights that now we know, we did none of that. In this case, remove the demand, remove the supply, and just write down apple cider vinegar here. You're putting in apple cider vinegar in the process, and you're hoping for the best, right? And when that best doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen, right? That's where things go wrong. That's what we're talking about. So your method, first of all, is you have to make sure that this method is not based on hearsay. And good practice to have is always question how do you know what you know. And you will get to a point where you can definitely identify that what you know is whether it is from just from a random source, and what's the quality of the source is also what you have to think about, or whether it is based on core principles or objectives or simple fundamentals that make up a concept, right? Frameworks. So that's what I've written down. Method is based on hearsay, best workouts for weight loss, best food for weight loss. All of these fall under that category. If anybody is giving you an answer like that, where they're saying, okay, this is, and a lot of people starting out, they will want to know that if they want to lose weight, what is the best workout that they should do? There is really no best workout that you can do for weight loss, right? If I had to pick the top three workouts for weight loss, I wouldn't have an answer for you, because that's never the case. There sadly are no workouts that you can do to lose weight. But if you come to me with that question, what can I tell you? I can refer you back to this framework. I can tell you to go and calculate your energy demand, or I can do it for you. Depending on how much money you're paying me or not paying me, I can help you figure out your energy supply, right? Or you can do it for yourself. Then you can create a state of deficit or surplus or maintenance. Then you can, do this process consistently 4 or 6 months, draw insights from it, figure out where you were going wrong, do those things correctly, figure out what your strengths were, build on those strong points, take all of this data, feed it back into the process, do enough iterations of this, and then you will, 9 out of 10 people, they will make this progress, right? 1 out of 10 people, if there are underlying phenomena, underlying diseases, ailments that you need to think of, underlying solutions that isolated solutions that we might need to apply, all of that comes after you have done the minimum viable dose, after you have taken the path of least resistance, and after you have definitely ascertained that I've done all of this, and I'm not making progress, even after doing all of this. And that's when I go to isolated answers. That's when I get tricky with it, go into the nitty-gritties. But so yeah, this is it. This is why this was a little lesson on how the importance of frameworks. Why, as a coach, as a professional, you need to have framework, because it brings order to your chaotic practice, right? It's all chaos. If your entire method of whatever practice you're imparting is based on hearsay, then at some point people are going to come back to you and ask you, hold you accountable, right? And then you cannot just tell them that, okay, I just told you that you will lose weight because somebody else told me that this is what you got to do to lose weight, right? That's not how things work. But if you have a framework, you can refer them to this framework. You can hold them accountable, about, did you do step one? Did you do step two? Did you do step three? Where did we start? Where are we at right now? And what's the difference between the insights that we have, right? Did we use those insights to feed it back into the process? Did we refine the process? Did we do it for a consistent enough time, right? And after all of that is done, what is the state that we are at? And if they have answers for all of this, then definitely maybe you do need to look for a more isolated answer. Frameworks always help. Even if you're a coach, if you're a human who's invested in this process, who wants to get these things done, frameworks, understanding simple visual concepts always help. That was episode